Hello, welcome back to our journey in Genesis. Bereshith. Recap: Yahweh has and a couple of his buddies visit Abraham. Abraham makes him a meal, and Yahweh discloses that potentially what might happen to Sodom. And Abraham, knowing Lot's there, asked Yahweh if he would destroy Sodom if he found 50, then 40, then 30, then 10. And YHWY and Yahweh each time says, I would not do it for that I would not, if he found that, and then he goes away. Let's recap there. Chapter 19 on page 17. And the two messengers that were with Abraham, what Yahweh, went to Sodom. And the two messengers came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting at the gate of Sodom. And when Lot saw them, he rose to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground, and said, Look, please, my masters, please, turn into your servant's house and spend the night. Wash your feet, rise early, and go your way. And they said, No, but let us spend the night in the open square. But he urged them strongly, and they turned in to him and came into his house. And when he had made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. Before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both old and young, all the people from every part of the surround of the house. And they called to Lot and said to him, Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, and let us know them. So Lot went out to them through the doorway, and they shut the door behind him, and said, Please, my brothers, do not do evil. Look, please, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please let me bring them out to you, and do to them as you wish. Only do not do deed to these men, because they have come under the shadow of my roof. But they said, Stand back. And they said, This one came in to sojourn, and should he always judge? Now we are going to treat you worse than them. So they pressed hard against the man Lot, and came near to break down the door. But the men reached out their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them, and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, and they were weary themselves to find the door. And the men said to Lot, Have you anyone else here, a son-in-law, and your sons, and your daughters, and whomever you have in the city? Bring them out of this place. For we are going to destroy this place, because the cry against them has grown great before the face of Yahweh, and Yahweh has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who had married his daughters, and said, Get up and get out of this place, for Yahweh is going to destroy the city. But his son-in-law, he seemed to be as one joking. And when the morning dawned, the messengers urged Lot to hurry, saying, Get up, take your wife, your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city. Pause there for a second. Revelation. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice of the heavens saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive her plagues. So that's what he's saying. It's 19 verse 16. And while he loitered, the men took hold of his hand and his wife's hand and the hands of his 2 daughters, Yahweh having compassion on him. And they brought him out and set him outside the city. And it came to be when they had brought them outside that he said, "Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be consumed." And Lot said to them, "Oh no, Yahweh. Look, please, your servant has found favor in your eyes. You have increased your loving commitment, which you have shown me by saving my life. But I am unable to escape to the mountains, lest calamity overtake me and I die. Look, please, this city is near enough to flee to, and it is small. Please let me escape there. It is no small matter, and let my life be saved." And he said to him, Yahweh, "Look, I have favored you concerning this matter also, without overthrowing the city for which you have spoken. Hurry, escape there, for I am not able to do any deed until you arrive there." So the name of the city was called Sohor. And the sun had risen up upon the earth when Lot entered Sohor. And Yahweh rained sulphur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah from Yahweh out of the heavens. So he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities that grew on the ground. But his wife looked back behind him, and she became as a post of salt. And Abraham arose early in the morning, and went to the place where he had stood before Yahweh. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain. And he looked and saw the smoke of the land, which went up like the smoke of a furnace. Thus it came to be, when Elohim destroyed the cities of the plain, that Elohim remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out in the midst to the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt. And Lot went up out of Sohor, and dwelt in the mountains, and his 2 daughters were with him, for he was afraid to dwell in Sohor. And he and his 2 daughters dwelt in a cave. And the firstborn said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man on the earth to come in to us, as this is the way of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and lie with him, so we preserve the seed of our father." So they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in, and lay with her father. And she was not aware of it when she lay down. And he was not aware of it when she lay down, or when she arose. And it came to be on the next day that the firstborn said to the younger, "See, I lay with my father last night. Let us make him drink wine tonight as well, and you go in and lie with him, so that we keep the seed of our father." So they made their father drink wine that night. And the younger one arose and lay with him, and he was not aware of it when she lay down, or when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. And the firstborn bore a son, and called him Moab, as he is the father of the Moabites to this day. And the younger, she also bore a son, and called his name Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the children of Ammon to this day. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the